Be more grind, ride shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like pipes. Motown soul rap mixed in the fix. Shiny cover spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the folder. Black biz bright spotlight in the dark. Hustling hard, lighting sparks in the park. Be more new, we'll be breaking glass ceilings. All black every day, income healing. Donnie Glover, flip the script. Let's go, Black Wall Street roadmap. Be more flow. Real talk, stock rise. Dreams ain't looking hollow. Blueprints, handshakes, enemies wallow. Baltimore kings, queens crown on the throne. Legacy built, stone by stone. Headlines, deadlines, moves in the background. Politics, money clips, elevate the town. Black biz strategists, wealth can't be missed. Twist the plot, make the whole world twist. Be more news, success we inhaling. Victories, IRS, no detailing. Donnie Glover, rise to shine, let's glow. Focused on
for GDP is $23 trillion. 23
Be more grind, ride shine through the struggle. Black dollar circulate, flexing muscle. Politics and biz building walls like pipes. Spitting truth, microphone holder. Past the noise scene, watch growth in the
Top of the morning to you. We have with us the therapist,
Good morning.
Mr. Moore. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, man. People need you.
People need me. Yes. People need me. People need therapists in general. And in what way do people need me?
Donald Trump got him going crazy.
I would have to agree with that. There's some things going on in this country that do not appeal to every American. Some Americans are doing really well. A lot of us are suffering right now. So yes, therapy is needed, especially in the field of federal employees that have been laid off. I know I have a number of them that I see regularly that are trying to find new jobs and trying to figure things out. So, you know, our thoughts and prayers are with the federal workers.
What do you tell them?
Well, I'm not telling them anything that they don't already know. I am telling them that looking for a job is a job in itself, and it can be frustrating.
You know what I tell them?
What's that?
Start your own damn business.
That's a good idea. Some people may have the means to do that and the education to do that, but some people have depended on their jobs for so long, 20, 30 years. Some of these people have been working for the government, and all of a sudden it's taken away. Now, the good thing is some people have payments that are still coming in. They're still getting paid, but their future doesn't look that great because the payments are going to stop soon. And they're wondering, what am I going to do? I was looking forward to retirement. That's not happening now. So now I know with Governor Wes Moore, how he's opened up the state of Maryland to federal employees, trying to get jobs available for them. So that's a good initiative that has been started. So hopefully that will do something to make a dent in this.
Have you ever counseled someone disaffected by the Keep Bridge collapse?
I have not, but not directly, but I have dealt with that issue with people when it was, new. There were a lot of people concerned about it, and just sending up their thoughts and prayers to the families that were affected and the workers that lost their lives. Whenever there's a major tragedy in the local community or that is nationwide, it always has an effect on my clients that day. Specifically, I think the first one that comes to mind was when Kobe Bryant was killed in that helicopter crash with his daughter and the other families on that day. That was a hard day. That was a hard day. I remember that like it was yesterday. Everyone that I talked to was having an issue. They were grieving.
Did they grieve when Michael Jackson and Prince died?
Well, I'm sure they did. I wasn't in therapy then. I wasn't a counselor then. I think Michael Jackson passed in 2009. I don't remember when Prince passed. But it was
I remember when when former Mayor William Donald Schaefer got buried. I saw people trying to climb in the hearse.
Yeah, big figures like that, iconic figures. It almost like we know them, personally, and then when they pass, it's devastating to us. So it definitely has an effect. Definitely has an effect. So let's see here. The big talk right now is this movie that's out, the Ryan Coogler movie, Sinners. Have you seen it yet?
No, I've been too busy sifting through people's comments about Shannon Sharp.
Ooh. Uncle Shannon. Are we gonna get into that right now? Uncle Shannon?
Yeah, we here.
So what's your take on him and his choice of extracurricular activities?
So my Morehouse brother in Atlanta says that Shannon Sharp is a stand-up guy.
Okay. I can believe that. I can believe that.
And so I texted him a clip of this latest news, and I had to sift through it. I tell you, social media is a distraction.
It can be.
Because whatever is put out there, it can end up soaking up your time. I'm still lost on why a grown man want to call his show Club Shay Shay. It just seems a little soft to me.
Well, that's an attention grabber, and a nickname.
There are other ways
you remember it. you remember
Shay,
it. Yeah, Shay Shay, boom boom boom. You remember stuff like that when it has a catchy name to it. But I'm really feel bad for what's going on with him, because I do feel like he is being targeted. The comments that the young lady was making and the things that she was saying to him was just throwing me off by, I don't know if it was playful banter in her mind, but it came across as kind of racist in some of the things that she was saying to him. And I don't know why that was acceptable for him, but hey, that's his life. That's his world. I just hope that he comes out of this.
What did you see? What did you see?
I saw a young lady that was trying to take advantage of her opportunity to get money. Come on,
This was the white girl.
Yes, she is a Caucasian female, I believe, and she's dealing with a 56-year-old African-American man who has money. And just from everything that's come out already, we don't know all the details, but what's come out already, it seems as if she has an agenda. So I just wish him the best with everything. It's an awful situation. Of course, your public information getting out. Your private information getting out there to the world that can't feel good. And now this woman is trying to get money from him. And it just seems like a money grab. It's unfortunate.
I saw one clip where he was talking about presumably a sex worker. Is this the same person?
I don't know if it was a sex worker or not. I do know that information that I've seen has her on OnlyFans. So I don't equate that to sex work. I think that's more.
Well, I saw a clip where he was talking about a porn worker, a porn star.
Oh,
Bree or something. Her name was Bree. And I didn't understand why he brought her up to criticize her. If that's what somebody does, what do you gain? It was almost like he was like laughing at her. And again, I just saw a clip, and that's the danger of social media. You don't get the whole context of stories. I will say that when you're in the public spotlight, you do have an obligation, whether you know it or not, especially if you're Black. You have a higher standard. I don't know what your mother told you. I don't know what you saw in school. I don't know what you heard. But I know that when you come on these airwaves, you have a responsibility. And you know, that's a great segue into this question of what is appropriate for social media and what is not. We live in an era, in a day and time. You know, going back over my last book, Journalpreneur, and I'm working on my 4th book. You remember MySpace?
Oh yeah, I do.
That was 03. This is 22 years past MySpace. And how our lives have changed. I mean, you look at TikTok, and there are people with 500,000 followers. And when you go and look at the content, it is some of the most mundane and some of the simplest clips getting 500,000 views. And you're like, for what? And so we have now, you had journalists who had to write their into the door or move to a small city in Nebraska to get some experience in order to get on television in the big city. Now everybody's a damn journalist.
Well, they really changed the game. The internet has allowed people to make themselves famous, in a sense. If you look at how the internet, like YouTube, for example, you can start making clips, skits on YouTube, and you can do this for a year or so, 2 years, and someone will recognize that and go, oh, hey, this person's actually pretty funny. And then they can go on and get a deal somewhere. The girl from Insecure, I can't remember her name right now, but I think that's how she got started. She was making these videos on YouTube, and then boom, then she has a TV show, and she's winning awards, and she's all over the place now. But that's been different for this era. The internet has been a tool for people to use to get notoriety, to get information out there. You yourself are using it for your own platform, and it's incredible what you're able to do, the amount of information you can give people what they really wouldn't get from the news. The news, it's supposed to be reported, but we don't get what's actually happened all the time. We get what they want us to know. But it's situations like this, platforms like this, where we can get the news that we want to hear, we need to hear. So the internet has changed the game for how we get information out there. Now, it's not all, information that is important. A lot of times it's more entertainment. And I think that always takes over what is, the important issues. Entertainment is so big in our country. You're going to see that people have platforms where they're just really talking about nothing, but it's for entertainment purposes. So it gets a lot of attention.
What's the mental impact? What is the impact on our psyche when we have people doing videos? There's this new genre. I'm over 40. Do you like me? I'm over 40. Am I worth dating? what happens to the self-esteem?
Ooh, I'm so glad you brought this up. And we could probably spend like 2 hours on this. But what I've noticed is that because
Or let me get this one in.
okay.
She damn near butt naked and she got 7 likes. I felt so sorry for this one lady. She went all the way to another country, put on a bathing suit on the beach, and got 7 likes. I'm like, wow. I bet she didn't see that one coming.
But look what that's doing to us. We are basing our worth on other people's approval. That's what the whole likes is all about.
I wouldn't have put it up.
Well,
she should have had a gauge. She should have had a gauge before she left. If you're getting 2-3 likes with your regular gear on in Baltimore, and then you go all the way to another country and put a bathing suit on, you get 7 likes. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be touring with my self-esteem like that.
well, that's the thing. Why we got to ask ourselves this question: why is our self-esteem built around and dependent on social media and the amount of likes that we get? You can have someone come on here, talk about something that is very educational, very informative, and not get a lot of attention. It does not mean what they said wasn't relevant or wasn't important. But we look at social media, especially this generation, they look at social media as a way to promote their worth. If I get likes, if I get followers, then that means I'm important. That means I'm worth something. And that changes our psyche and how we feel and view ourselves. So if I'm not getting the attention that I think I should get, what does that say about me? Does that say that I'm not worthy, that I'm not important? And that's the ongoing theme with social media. I need to get my attention. And if I don't get it, then I'm not important.
And that's just not the kids are, and we wonder why our kids are impacted the way they are.
Well, look, I'm gonna go back to the Shannon Sharpe situation. Look how many people are invested in this based off of what happened. Now, back in the day or a few years ago, Shannon Sharpe wasn't on TV. He wasn't really that popular. But now that he is, now that he's all over social media, when something like this happens, it takes a worldwide break in the news. Breaking news. Look what happened to Shannon Sharpe. But the social media made him, not ESPN.
So I asked this question: was it worth it?
Oh, in my opinion,
is it worth? Is it worth?
No,
I'm sorry.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I think the relationships that we are in, they can make or break us, and we have to be very careful, especially people who are, in the limelight, who are famous. They have to be very careful who they date. And if you notice, a lot of famous people would only date famous people, and I used to wonder about that growing up. Like, man, they only date famous people. Now I see why. Because we both have something to lose here. We both got the same thing invested. We both got money. So when you look at that, now I see why they kind of stay in the same circle. When they step out of that circle, you're dealing with people who don't have that kind of notoriety and money. You put yourself at risk. And this is a situation where
no, they treat each other cruddy too.
They do, but what's the stakes though? Like, for example, if you have two famous people,
they're both gonna be in the news.
They'll be in the news, but I don't see too many famous people coming at the other for $50 million when they break up. Doesn't happen too often. We got our own money.
So you're talking about people who have similar bank accounts.
Yes.
Shannon Sharpe went on a rant.
Kanye West. Look at the situation here. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. When they were going their separate ways, it wasn't a big money grab. They both got their own money. They battling over the kids, but money ain't the issue. They good on their own.
But it doesn't change the mental health issues that came out either.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. But
I mean, you talk about the things we do for attention. and this man had his wife butt naked.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get a little bit into
Where I come from, that's a violation. I don't know about nobody else, but you don't put your woman on Front Street like that unless you're
no, that's not healthy.
You're tapped up here. Something is.
Yeah, that's not healthy.
On.
And that had nothing to do with her. That was all about him. We gotta be careful who we date. You know, if you're dating somebody that likes to exploit you, you got to get out of that thing. That's not a healthy relationship.
I wouldn't want somebody doing that to my daughter.
No, not at all.
Doing that to my daughter, to any woman in my family. That's what you think of her. You put out there butt naked, and then what dude does that? Usually, it's like, girl, you know, cover yourself.
Yeah, but let's go back to the self-esteem. That's a self-esteem issue. That's someone saying, well, for mostly for him, because he's the famous person. That's a self-esteem issue. If I can get the prettiest girl, if I can have the finest woman on my arm, what does that say about me? And if you notice, a lot of that happens in that world. I have to have the biggest and the brightest because it's a reflection on me. So if my girl is fine, then what does that say about me? And I think that's what it is.
That's not what they say. That's not what they're saying in that area. That's not what they're saying.
What are they saying?
They're saying, boy, you crazy.
Well, I won't speak to his level of.
What would you say? You saw somebody out there butt naked with a raincoat on. That's your woman?
I would think that there's something wrong.
What about if when I met you down at the World Trade Center and you sitting next to your wife, or we sitting next to somebody else, they butt naked on the front row with a raincoat on? Like, miss, you're inappropriate. You gotta go.
Definitely. And I would think there's something mentally going on. Definitely some mental health issues going on there. Absolutely. I don't think that they would be in their right mind because you're in a public place. Right.
And so the danger is untrained people are putting images, videos, content out there without somebody fully thinking through the ramifications and effects of the content.
Yeah, they don't think things through. Like this is a live feed right now. People can see this, and we really have to be careful with what we say, because any little thing in this culture now could get you shut down, canceled, have somebody coming for your neck. You got to be careful with what you say here, because you can offend somebody and not even really mean to do it. So you got to be careful with what you say.
And then there's that. And then there's the super sensitive, you know, you look at some things that are egregious, that are in your face, but then you look at a quote unquote Karen calling the police on an African-American man in Central Park who's bird watching.
Man, oh man. Right. And sometimes it's hard to even be careful, because it's like, even when we're careful, things can still happen. But when it comes to social media, just to stick to your point, social media, it can be your best friend or your worst enemy, and you have to know how to use it.
I'd say try to give some grace and some mercy.
Yeah, I think collectively people are going to put you on that hot seat, but individuals can understand when you take a look at a situation, you can understand how someone can respond a certain way. But you know, when it comes to the court of public opinion, it's hard out there.
Try to be nice. Try to give grace and mercy, because we all need it.
We do.
We all have days that we say things like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that.
Ooh, Yes, that comes up a lot in my sessions with people when they're dealing with family and friends, and specifically, well, especially coworkers. Coworkers can drive you nuts, and saying the wrong thing can ruin a relationship at work. And now you got to go into a hostile work environment, and you got to be careful. You got to be careful with what you say at work, because one wrong word and then that's it. So we do have to give some grace to people sometimes, and monitor what we say and how we feel, because we're reaction based sometimes at work. Something happens and then we react, but we got to react in a way that is safe for us, because it can cause us a lot of problems.
I've heard increasingly more stories of African American women dealing with hostile environments at work. They feel the microaggressions of white women, and they are tired of it. And I don't think the Donald Trump election made it any better.
Yeah, it's sad, because our Black women are at a disadvantage when it comes to the workforce. They're Black, and then they're women. So right there's 2 strikes against them, and they have to work extra hard.
Kind of like Kamala Harris.
Exactly. And just women in general. Like, look who Donald Trump beat in both his elections. The country chose him over 2
rapist.
Right. They chose him over 2 women who were well qualified to do the job. They'd rather have
a traitor,
a man who has got some issues that we would love for him to address, but he's not going to do that.
If Donald Trump was sitting on your sofa in your office, if you were to give him therapy,
I'll tell you what I would do. It's a fair question, and I'm gonna say this in a way so that people can understand where I'm coming from. I would do more listening than talking.
Hold up. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats and the dogs.
Right.
Okay.
But look, as much as we disagree with him, we have to remember we're dealing with a human being. Okay. He has flaws. We may not agree with everything he does, but at the end of the day, he's a human being. So I would want to know what's going on in his world, in his mind. What's his mindset? What is his view of certain things in life, to get a better understanding of where he's coming from. I may not agree with it.
His daddy didn't whip his ASS. That's what didn't happen in his life. He needed my father for all of 4.5 minutes. I guarantee you, had my mother had him for 3 minutes, I guarantee you he'd be a different individual. His grandmother never sent him out back to go get that switch.
Yeah.
He's never been held accountable. I don't know he's ever been in a situation where he had to, as we say, put him up.
Maybe. I don't know his life story. That's why I would do more listening than talking, because then I can get a better understanding of what his story is and what he's dealing with. Then I would know how to move in giving him therapy.
He never got his daddy's approval.
That's possible, but I wouldn't know unless I sat down and talked to him. There are things that he says, and there's things that he says when he's on camera, and I don't know what he's saying off camera. I think he's a different person off camera, honestly. From what I see and what I observe, he does need some help in certain areas. But like I said, I don't know him as a person. I know him as Donald Trump, the president, the businessman, the TV host. And that's how I know him. I don't know him outside of that.
Oh, we're going to turn this camera back around on you. What president did you like?
Oh, come on, man. I love Barack Obama.
Why?
because I believe Barack Obama was genuine and he was a president that was for all of America, not just one
You
side.
saw him hit that jump. You saw him hit that jumper on the basketball court. And you're like, oh, that's it.
And I think that his personality was able to come out, and he can, change the rhetoric of what the presidency really is. And it kind of made it more open and honest. The things that he did for our entire country, it benefited the country. And I think that's the job of the president, not to benefit just one party or one side of the country. You're the president of the United States. Your job is to take care of everybody and do what's best for the nation. And he did that. I believe Jimmy Carter did that. And I believe in some areas, both Bush presidents did that as well. Had John McCain become president, I think he would have done the same thing. I think John McCain would have been a great president. He just had bad timing.
What about Reagan?
Reagan made it difficult for a lot of people. I think he could have used some more coaching before getting into the presidency. But my favorite president, of course, is Barack Obama.
I'm still traumatized about Reagan. Nancy Reagan said, "Just say no." That's what they said to the black addicts back then. Just say no.
Yeah, that was hard.
That was
you talking about the crack epidemic? Is that what you're talking about? The crack epidemic?
Crack epidemic, yeah, that was the 90s. But I'm looking in Sandtown in 2025, and I'm seeing white addicts chasing heroin, crack, cocaine in the black community like never before. Panhandling, sleeping in the alleys, in dumpsters. And I'm wondering where Nancy Reagan is. Is she still saying, just say no?
Didn't she pass away? What you mean where she is?
Where that line of reasoning would land today. Just say no. Can I say that to the white addicts out there? Hey, just say no. But meanwhile, they're breaking into vacants across the street and they're causing a fire and about to burn the neighborhood down. And then some still have the audacity, even in addiction, to come off with the N-word. Excuse me, sir. You can't stay on that vacant house. You N-word.
Yeah.
In the black community.
Drugs alter your reality.
No, that ain't drugs. They were racist before they were a drug addict.
Oh yeah, I'm not taking that away. If you're racist, you're racist. But drugs alter your reality. It makes you unable to regulate yourself. I mean, you make poor decisions. The just say no thing is just kind of too simple for our community to accept. It's like, okay, some people can just say no, but they've already said yes. So they're going to need some help to say no. Let's help these people say no. We got to give them treatment, medication, other options. So it's not just about saying no. What do you do after you said yes to the drugs and to that lifestyle? And I don't think it was coming from a place of empathy. It was coming from a place of sympathy. You can recognize there's a problem, but you're not doing anything to really help the problem. And that's what our communities need. Our communities need real help to these issues because it's an ongoing problem all over the country. Drugs is an ongoing problem.
We have a big event coming up Sunday. I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you about it. I don't know if you'll be able to stop through. Are you familiar with the forum that we're having at Sharon Baptist Church on Sunday?
No, I'm not aware of that. What's the event?
Well, it's called Freddie Gray, The Aftermath.
Oh, yeah.
From 3 to 5 at Sharon Baptist Church, we'll be looking at, we'll be talking with some of the people who were involved, former police officer Chuck Lee, Bishop Lisa Weir, Her church, I remember being a food drop location. We have Bishop Elliott from We Our Us, Reverend Corey Barnes from We Our Us. There'll be Senator Hayes in the room, and he'll talk about what he's been able to direct to North Avenue, West North Avenue. Over $40 million has actually come to the community, and a lot of people don't know. There have been some significant changes, but people don't know. And I'll tell you this, Jamar, this is from a therapeutic standpoint for myself.
Okay.
Major news outlets are watching more news for tidbits on the story because it's the 10-year anniversary or 10th year commemoration. So we're finding national news outlets looking to be more news for nuggets of history.
That's amazing, and congratulations on that. This is the type of news that gets missed, I think, in the mainstream media. The news coming from the people and coming from someone who is out there on the streets, seeing it day to day. We need this kind of platform so people can know what's going on. And did you know that this is the first year, I think, that the city of Baltimore was not on the most dangerous cities to live list?
I'm glad you said that, because I saw something else that said that Baltimore is the dirtiest city. And it was Fox News that put it out there. Any thoughts on the filters we personally need? I'll tell you, for the past 4 months, I wouldn't even watch the news at all.
Yeah.
Not on television.
Right. Because it goes back to what I was saying earlier. We don't always get what's happening. We get what people want us to know what's happening. The news isn't always reported the way it should be reported. I'm a firm believer you got to watch both sides. You got to look at Fox News and see what's being said. You got to look at CNN and other outlets to see what's being said. Because I think a lot of people have agendas. They have a story they want you to know and what they want to promote. And there's the truth. There's their version of the truth. And then there's the lie. So the more information we get, we can kind of put things together for ourselves. But when it comes to what I was just talking about, how Baltimore was not on that list for the first time in a long time, people don't want to talk about that. That's a major accomplishment, because there are a lot of great things that happen in Baltimore, a lot of great people in the city, and that should be recognized, that this is a great place to live, and people need to know that outside of our community.
A lot of that is a 50 fake out, because the mainstream media tell you, for instance, don't come to Sandtown. Yeah, you see white people down the street buying properties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you see us buying properties. Like, I want to get to a place where when we see us in neighborhoods, we can go, "Oh, this is a great neighborhood," because
that's right. You are my neighbor. You are just around the corner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know when I'm in the city, I talk to people. When I'm looking at properties that I may want to invest in, I'm talking to the people that are standing around, chilling, talking about the Ravens. I'm talking to them. What's going on? How you doing? I'm not getting anything negative coming my way, and that's Baltimore. That's Baltimore. People will talk to you. But when you look at mainstream media and what the world wants to present, what's this dangerous city? You going? Come on, man. That's not everywhere all the time, and that's in every city. So, shout out to Baltimore. Things are coming up.
What do we tell our children in this day and time?
In regards to what?
What they should want moving forward, coming out of high school. What did your mother and father tell you at 18? Coming out of high school, what was the message?
The message was, of course, I'm going back. We're going back to the 90s now. So, at 18, that's a while ago. I'm 46 now. At 18, the message was you need to work. You need to make sure you can take care of yourself, take care of your family. And I don't think that message has really changed. It's just the way that it's presented now. Technology has made things a little different, and the ability to earn money has changed. Specifically with stuff like this, you can be your own business owner a lot easier now.
My mother used a piece of technology around 1980. It was called a piece of paper and a pen, and she wrote a note and she put it on the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Like the first day of summer vacation. Before you go outside, I'm gonna need you to do A, B, C, and D.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of those things don't change. Some of those things need to stay the same.
Yeah, that was the technology. And play like you didn't see it, because she know she got it right there in the freezer. She know where you're going.
Oh yeah.
And then here was another one around 1979, 1980. At 18, you're leaving.
Yeah, I don't think that was healthy. What can an 18-year-old do for themselves? Say it again.
Get out of her house.
Yeah, that's not realistic, and I hope that we can come away from that.
4 for 4.
Yeah, that's not realistic. 18-year-olds.
Oh, yeah, it was for her.
I get why people were doing that. They want you to
college,
become a man.
military, or work. I have fed you, clothed you, housed you for 18 years. I know you have the wherewithal to stand on your own 2 feet. At 18, you leave.
No, think about this. What's the average cost of an apartment?
She didn't give a damn about all that. And she said,
in this day and age, you have to.
And she said, until then, don't bring no babies across that door.
That's good. That's good advice. Kids got to be careful these days, man.
And number 3, wherever you go, own it.
Own it. That's also good advice. Now, how does an 18-year-old child who only has a high school education at the time, how do they do that today?
I just told you, college, military, or work.
Okay, let's take college.
What you're not going to do is lay on my sofa at 18 moving forward. That's what you're not going to do. She told me that at 15, 16, 17, and at 18, when I was on a plane to go to Georgia, that same terrorist, my mother was a terrorist. Osama bin Laden had nothing on my mother. At 18, she was crying because I was on that plane. And I said, look at her. I can't believe she crying. After all of this, at 18, you leaving, at 18, you leaving, then she crying.
Yeah.
But I was self-sufficient at 18.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, my daughter is at 18 too.
Yeah, I think
if you
that
tell them they can't fly,
help.
They can't fly. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up.
Well, no, I was just piggybacking off what you're saying. That type of parenting, it was useful to a certain point to get people to be more independent. This day and age, things are a lot different. Where we're not collectively guiding our kids in the same way anymore. And then it's so expensive out here now. If I have my child go to college, when they come home and they want to get a job right after college, they're getting an entry-level position. If that, they may not be able to afford an apartment, definitely not a house right off the bat. They may need some support to get there. My daughter's about to graduate from college, and I know right away she's got to go get her master's degree because she's a social work major. Social workers can't practice unless they have a master's degree and become licensed. So how's she going to feed herself? How's she going to eat? She's still got more schoolwork to do. So she's going to have to live with us while she finishes her education. And I don't have a problem with that. If my young child, my adult child is working towards something, and that's why they're home with me. Now, that's one thing. If you just laying around not doing anything, that's something different. But if you're working towards something, even if you're working towards your own business, you're trying to get that
was
off the
a
ground.
rule: college, military, or work. But
Yeah,
you're not gonna lay on my sofa. So maybe I'm gonna say it one more time. She said at 18, you're leaving. College, military, or work.
Yeah.
So
it was the same. It was kind of the same thing for me.
Huh?
It was kind of the same thing for me. When I went away to school to Alabama, I attended a school at the time. It was called Oakwood College. Now it's called Oakwood University. And when me and my brother left, we left and pretty much didn't come back to live after that.
You got the memo.
Say that again.
You got the memo.
I got the.
You got the same memo I got.
I got the same memo, but here's the thing: it wasn't that I couldn't go back. We just chose not to go back because we were trying to be independent. And I did go into the military after college, and I was living on my own.
Your mama did well.
She did. She did. She did. Absolutely.
Because we make it comfortable. I think that's what the wisdom that they brought. I'm not going to make you comfortable doing nothing.
Yeah. We can't.
Because we saw the effects of people who were comfortable doing nothing. They were on that same damn corner 30 years ago.
Yeah. And they get entitled. There's a sense of entitlement that sets in. Kids today are very entitled. My parents have to do this for me at whatever age I am. You have to do this. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. No. Living here under my roof after 18, after 21 is a privilege. It's not a right. We don't have to do anything at this point. You're an adult. So you need to make sure you're working, doing something to move your life in the right direction.
Here's something else. When I got my first job, might have been 14, 15. First check. My father said, boy, you know you got to give your mother some money.
Oh. How old were you?
Your first check.
You were 15?
You know you got to give. Yeah, you got to break your mother off.
Yeah, but and what is he?
Bring money in the house and you got to pay a tax.
Yeah, what's he teaching you?
Because,
what is he teaching you in that moment?
Responsibility.
That's right.
And respect.
Right.
Now you got dollars. Them lights cost money.
Yeah.
The heat that you got up on 90 costs money.
Man, yeah. Yep. Now your appreciation changes at that point, and your value of a dollar.
She washed your clothes.
Yeah.
That costs money. The water costs money. I'll tell you something else. Don't go to sleep and you ain't took that trash out.
Oh, man.
My brother's 75 years old. He remembers 60 years ago being awakened at 2 a.m.
That's the worst thing. Ooh, man. Wake up to a spanking. That's
you take that trash out. And we had real big rats out back. So you had to kick the fence to get the rats permission to come down to the trash can.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Whew. That's tough, man.
They say there's no such thing as a shark attack. If you out in the water and the shark bit you, you were trespassing. So just like out back, you go into the rats' territory and you got to give them some like, hey, who? I'm coming down. Give them a chance to leave.
Yeah. Wow.
And dirty dishes. You
Oh,
left
come
dirty
on.
dishes in the sink
You better not leave one fork in the sink.
because they
Not
had the
one.
rule, they had the understanding that if your kitchen, if you ain't take the trash out and wash the dishes, your house is dirty.
Yep. Look at this mess. Like, what you talking about? It's one fork in the sink. This kitchen's a mess. Yep. Yep. And do you recognize this? When your kids get money and they're spending their own money, they're very careful with how they spend their money. But when they're asking you for something, it's, oh, get me this. I want this. I want this. I want this. Like, wait a minute. How come when you got money, you're very selective in what you spend? But when it's my money, you ready to spend it all over the place. And I think that's what
How about
our
this?
parents.
How about this?
Uh-huh.
Your children are a junior or a senior
Ooh. I think I know where you're going with
in
this.
high school.
Mm-hmm.
And senior day is coming about. The prom is coming about.
Mm-hmm.
And the bill for the prom might be $2,000.
Whew.
Let me just say, I was happy to get a used tux and to get a ride to the prom with my date. I was happy just to get that. I think we even walked home at the end of the night, about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, because you're moving around. Well, like you had a limo all this time. But nowadays, I see, especially in the Black community, I can only speak about what I see.
Right.
We go all out. We need helicopter rides. And the bill is $2,000 for one day. Let me just say, if I don't spend $2,000 on myself for one day, you must be out your damn mind if you think I'm going to spend that on you.
Yeah, for something like that. That's
it's
a culture
one night
thing,
because to me, $2,000 that could be your first semester tuition. Oh, you ain't. Oh, you do know you're going to see. That's a given.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I was going to college. If there was never. Did you ever have any doubt?
I did, and the reason behind that is, back in the day, my family was a working family. I watched my grandfather, my grandparents. I watched them work. I watched my mom get up and go to work. It wasn't too much talk about college at that time because, one, who gonna pay for it? So it wasn't a lot of talk about that. The talk was you graduate from high school, get a job. And if you get a good government job, you're good to go. So, and I think I talked about this the last time I was here. College wasn't a big thing in my immediate home. It wasn't until I actually got to college where I thought about it being something real for me. And the woman that I married, her upbringing was a lot different. Both of her parents were educators. They're both teachers. And
So
going to
she
college
grew up with that expectation.
Yes, she grew up with that expectation. It was a known thing. You're going to school. Now, it doesn't mean my mother didn't want that for me. It's just not what was going on in her life at the time. So when I got married, that was the expectation in my wife's world, and it seeped over into my world. Like, yeah, I need to go to college. Yeah. So now that generational, I don't want to say curse, that generational thing has changed in my family with my kids.
It's a standard.
Right.
I bet your daughter go to college.
You can be successful without going to college, but
man,
for my home, you're going to college. You want to start your own business? Great. Go to college first.
See? And your daughter's in college.
She is. She's graduating next January, 2026.
Could you imagine her not being in college?
No, because we gave her the same option. If you're not going to go to school, then you're probably going to go into the military and possibly have a career there. But you're going to do something. You're going to do something, not just going to sit around. But college is definitely going to be.
You're not much different.
You're
not much different than your parents because they just wanted the best for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we can only take you as far as we've been, But look how many of our grandparents and great grandparents who never went to college, but they had something that we don't have today.
They got a lot that we didn't have today. A lot. I mean, just the work ethic alone, and the loyalty and commitment, common sense. Yeah, some of that stuff didn't get passed down. It didn't get passed down. But when I look at my life and my journey through college and everything that I did on that end, I sit back and go, I'm not supposed to be here, because this wasn't something I even dreamed I could do. I'm looking at doctoral programs right now. And when I think about it, I'm like, man, this wasn't in my plan at first, but my perspective changed. And I was able to see life in a different way outside of what I was raised. And I think a lot of kids, especially kids that aren't able to get out of their hometown, they need exposure to more things so they can see that it's a bigger world out there than just your neighborhood where you come from, and go after it, chase after it. We got a lot of kids, in Baltimore, who are geniuses, but they don't have the exposure they need to go out there and achieve more. So it'd be great if we can get more of that in our community, so kids can see, I can really be whatever I want to be. And I'm a firm believer in that.
My daddy said that travel is the best education.
Oh man, travel and experience, it'll change your life. It will change your life. I thought I saw what a ghetto was in this country, but when I got into the Navy and I went to these other countries, I saw what a real ghetto was.
You saw people with no shoes.
I'm talking kids just sleeping on the street regularly every single day with absolutely nothing at all. Nothing
hungry to come to America.
Oh my goodness. Our ghetto compared to that, and I'm using that term for a reason, our ghetto compared to third world country ghettos, it's like luxury over here compared to that.
People in other countries would die to be in our shoes.
Oh man. And it's sad on both ends. It's sad because I don't think in this country we should have anything like that going on with all the money we have. No neighborhood should look like that. But when I compare the two, man, traveling opened my eyes up to what our country and our world, our version of the world, and what it really is, and how much we're missing when we look at it on a global scale. So I think travel will really help change some people's perspective.
I want to give you a chance to say whatever you want to say and give people a shot of hope. Just end off with saying, good morning, world. And thank you for joining us, Mr. Moore.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I just want to take this time right now to encourage people out there who have unfortunately lost their jobs due to the firing of federal employees. I want you to know, keep your head up, keep looking for jobs, keep looking for other opportunities, keep your health up, make sure you're getting out there to exercise, do everything you can to keep your mental health together, because everything we do stems from our mental health. We have to make sure we are in a place where we are thinking clearly, we're making good decisions, and we don't look at this as the end. It is not the end. This is just a hiccup, a bump in the road. You can pick yourself up. You can start your life all the way over again. You can start something new. But whatever you do, stay positive. Feed yourself positive energy during this time, because it is not over. You can achieve more. You can achieve more. So keep your head up. That's my message for today.
Don't you want to tell them how to get in touch with you? You need more clients?
Oh, yes, I'll put that out there. So our website is www.allthingsnewclinical.com. Once you go there, you will see the therapists that are available. You can click on my name or my partner's name, Dr. Damaris Crawl, who's available, and we are taking clients. We have a schedule that is full pretty much from day to day, but we will always look and see where we can fit people in, because there are people in need out here. And if we're not able to take you, we can definitely refer you out to someone who can help you out. That's it right there. allthingsnewclinical.com.
Okay. Good morning, world.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, big brother.